Welcome back to the KDPG Sunday edition. For so many years, department stores were the place to go for so many kinds of merchandise. Shopping was a destination for everything from candy to furniture and clothing. But those days are disappearing from the American experience. This past week, Sears announced more than 70 more store closings, including South Hills Village, Robinson Town Center, and a Kmart owned by the company in Latrobe. Dana Kozloff shared memories of Chicago's Six Corners Sears with customers who are sorry to see it disappear.
These windows were filled, for especially Christmas, just filled with decorations, like all lit up. It was just unbelievable.
Looking up at the Six Corners Sears, Chicago and Linda Stoll remembers how magical its display windows were when she was a child.
It was more than like Macy's downtown. It was just like awesome.
One of the first windowless department stores, this Sears has been at the apex of Milwaukee, Cicero, and Irving Park Roads for 80 years.
Opening day, 1938 in October, supposedly 99,000 people showed up.
And Northwest Side newspaper publisher Brian Natick says its draw continued for decades, becoming the neighborhood's anchor.
The Six Corners was always known as the biggest shopping district outside of the Loop in the city of Chicago.
One of the biggest draws, remembers those of a certain age, was its popular candy counter.
As soon as you walk in the door, the smell of those roasted nuts would hit you.
Sixth-generation Chicagoan Frank Seworth also rode his first escalator at this Sears. But after decades of dwindling business and a decade of big box struggles, the city's last Sears is closing this summer.
Sears started in Chicago. You hate to see it leave.
I'll always miss it, and you'll never have another department store like this.
So what is causing this major shift in shopping habits, and what will be gone from the shopping experience? Dr. Kate Lamberton is the Ben L. Pryor Chair of Marketing and Associate Professor of Marketing at the University of Pittsburgh Katz Graduate School of Business. And Tom Winfelder spent 29 years in retailing here in Pittsburgh. He began as a trainee at Kaufmann's in 1972, became regional manager and vice president of the downtown Pittsburgh Kaufmann's department store, and he was the last general manager before the store became a Macy's. Welcome you both to the KDPG Sunday edition. It is, for those of us who maybe remember those kind of department stores, and you obviously do, it's kind of sad to see these kinds of department stores go. Is it just because of online shopping, Kate?
Well, a lot of it has to do with online shopping. That's certainly the case. I think that people's traffic patterns have changed somewhat. People perhaps don't want to spend an entire day wandering around. A large part of the function of a department store was that you could see everything at once, right? Mm-hmm. And so now people feel like they have a little bit less time to spend. That sort of browsing experience may not be as appealing, and when you know you can get it online and it's one stop, it makes it a lot easier.
But you're spending some time online browsing as well.
You are, but that feels like fun.
Okay, it's a little different.
And you can multitask while you do it.
When did you start to see the impact of online shopping? I know Kaufmann's became Macy's. It was
Yes.
purchased out.
Yes.
But when you were general manager, was it popping up at that point at all?
No, it really wasn't. It was on the horizon. There was talk about it. The internet was new. There was a lot of activity and interest, but it wasn't making a dent in business. And I think the dent that it made has been slowly evolving. The numbers have not been skyrocketing from day one for online shopping, but the trend is undeniable, and the trend is absolutely like this.
The trend may be like that, but this is posed to both of you, but you start to see some of the retailers, such as Target and Walmart, they're keeping their big box stores, but they're also finding a way to get into the internet and it's online sales. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, and I think what you also see are that the retailers that are succeeding that are not that large. So for example, a little boutique like Bonobos, right? What they'll do is they'll have a showroom, and what the data also shows is that millennials actually really like going into a showroom. They like to go into a space where they have an experience. And so they'll create a small curated set of items, and then you can buy it there, or it can be shipped to you, or you can buy it online. So that what the retailers that are doing, that are succeeding, is that they're reinventing themselves as an experience, so that there's still a value that can't be replicated in an online environment.
We hear that the internet is allowing craft sellers of things to connect directly with, and is that a real thing? I mean, I see an article like, oh, that's the future. Is that going to be the future? Or is there something in that, or is that always going to be just a little sideline for?
Well, I think that you see, and it's interesting, you even see this in the online world. People are saying, yes, I can go to Amazon, but I can also go to Etsy and get exactly what I want, right? And so we've known for a long time that the internet allows the long tail to meet what it needs. So there's only a small set of people who want exactly what you are looking for, but there are enough to justify an online retailer. So you're seeing even online that people are starting to think maybe I could shift away from this mass system to something that's more custom to me.
Right, right. Yeah, even like I think the first online business that really made a huge dent was Zappos in terms of shoes. I mean, now I think it's owned by Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. But if you think about buying shoes, you and I had to try that shoe on to make sure that it fit and so forth. And the customers' habits have changed. And Zappos can design a shoe and get it online for sale in a matter of days.
And free return. So they say, go ahead, order in
Free returns.
like 10 shoes and send 9 back.
However, Amazon just last week started putting constraints on people who are returning.
Profligate returner.
Yeah, and we experienced that when I was with Kaufmann's too. We used to have a very liberal policy that you could return anything for any reason at any time. And over time, as we started looking at the bottom line, we would say, oh my, that's creating...
LL Bean gave that up too. People would bring in 30-year-old duck shoes. And
So even the trends that department stores experienced 20 years ago pop up in a different way, even at Amazon today.
I don't know if you can speak to this or not, but I found it interesting the other day. I believe it was Saks is removing the perfume counter from the first floor and moving it someplace else. When you set up a store, how important is where you put certain things? And I'm wondering whether that translates then into how Amazon does it or anything.
I think the difference is we used instinct as the dinosaur department stores. We used instinct and looked at a floor plan. Instead, if the door is here and the door is there and the street traffic is like this, then this is going to be our best position. Amazon is using data. They don't have to use floor plans. They're using data and there's no guesswork. When they do the data analytics, they know exactly what to do and how to do it.
I'm going to guess that when you set up your floor plan and you did everything else, the shopper that came in the most for you was a woman. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. And Kate, does Amazon target either sex?
Well, they don't even have to be that general, right? So to segment on gender is kind of a blunt instrument, right? We have to make generalizations about what men prefer and women prefer, but the data is at an individual level. Now, they can probably infer from my data whether I'm a male or a female,
right?
But they don't need to know that. They can infer that from my behavior.
And how you do certain things. Something else I wanted to bring up, and I find this interesting. We're talking about the internet and we're talking about big box stores. When I was growing up, while Sears had stores everywhere, they still had that catalog out there. And for so many people across the country early on, that was their connection with a department store. They didn't have one in Emporia, Kansas, or someplace like that. They probably didn't in Emporia, but in some other places perhaps. They didn't have a department store to go to. The Sears catalog, in a way, that was, I'm going to loosely term it, an internet way of doing it.
Absolutely.
So how did they lose touch with that and not be ready to go with the internet?
They became very big. The technique of their internet of their day was the catalog. Absolutely. Somebody in the middle of Nebraska could buy a car from Sears. So everything to everybody, and that's what Amazon is doing as well. But the reason Sears sort of lost track is you develop a big business. Now you've got a big, huge business to run that is driven by stores and a bunch of other things, and you forget about what got you started in the first place. You're too busy running your business.
You've got property to manage.
You've got a big business to run. Whereas the new ideas that are coming out of CMU and Pitt all the time, they are not encumbered by the old things that drove the business 20 years ago.
Kate, from your perspective and looking at Sears and some other stores that are like Sears, can they survive at all?
I think it's going to be difficult for the large mass retailers to survive unless they have a really unique value proposition, right? So again, I think what they're going to have to do is shift their focus to some extent away from the product and toward the experience of shopping. And it has to be distinctive. It has to be something that can't be replicated somewhere else. And right now, a lot of them are very much the same. I mean, 10 years ago, if you walked into a JCPenney's and a Sears and, you know, a Macy's, there's not a huge, there's a small difference. Now, I think Macy's differentiated itself, right? And Sears reinvented itself a few times to try to create that.
But I want to pick up on the word experience. We hear that.
Do this quickly. Go ahead.
That material things are down and experience is up.
And so that's part of the value.
Yes.
I want to thank you both for being with us this morning on the KDPG Sunday edition. John, I'll be back with some final thoughts in just a moment.